Susie, do you copy? The Mallrats, the case of the missing lifeguard, the sauna test, the source, the birthday, the bite, and the battle of Starcourt. It's a fucking shit show! What you think you see, what you think you hear, that's what it's about. Mood and atmosphere. No, it's fucking garbage. It's garbage. Mood and atmosphere. Now that I really like. That's what I'm looking for. That's what I want to see. Hey folks, how you doing? Dave McCrae here. Yes, that's right. Today we are talking season 3 of Stranger Things. But I also want to talk about Stranger Things as a whole as well, because obviously season 3 has not been released yet. But as of shooting this video just a few days ago, they released the official titles for the 8 episodes that are going to be attached to season 3 of Stranger Things. Yes, we are getting 8 episodes. Now, the other day, a buddy of mine was like, it kind of sucks, you know, there's only 8 episodes. Okay. And in my mind, I'm thinking, what are you talking about? That perfectly lines up with what we've gotten in the past. There were 8 episodes for season 1. There were, I think, 9 episodes for season 2. And of course, now, okay, there's 8 episodes for season 3. I mean, it's not like there's only 2 episodes or 4 episodes or something like that. So I don't think if you're somebody that is somehow disappointed that there's only 8, well, there were only 8 in season 1 and there was 9 in season 2. So you're fine. Okay. You're fine. The titles are very interesting. Obviously, the titles is what I read to you at the beginning of this video. And in order, Susie, do you copy? The Mallrats, the case of the missing lifeguard, the sauna test, the source, the birthday, the bite, and the battle of Starcourt. Fascinating. Now, obviously, that doesn't tell us anything about the episodes. It doesn't mean the season's going to be good. It doesn't mean the episodes are going to be good, but they're interesting titles nonetheless. And now, like I said, we don't have a release date for season 3 yet. Season 1 came out in the summer of 2016, in July 2016. Now, I was a little late to the party watching Stranger Things. I didn't get to it until the fall of that year. Now, of course, as a 40-year-old guy, I fell in love with it, as a lot of people my age did, because I was a young boy through the 80s. I was a teenager of the 90s, but I was still old enough through the 80s, and I have older siblings that I remember the 80s very well. And I grew up on a very healthy dose of Steven Spielberg and John Carpenter and He-Man and Ghostbusters and Halloween and Elm Street and Friday the 13th and, you know, all the shit that you see in Stranger Things, I remember very well. And like I said, having older siblings also helps to remember that. So I really liked it. I really liked it, but I did not think they needed to do a season 2. I understand why they did a season 2. It was left open. It certainly was not an ambiguous ending where they could have just left it and there may not have been any unanswered questions. There would have been a very big unanswered question, which of course is, this thing is still in Will here. What's going on? But I found that the arc of season 1 in and of itself was a complete story. And every episode was strong, very strong. And every cliffhanger at the end of every episode was very good. And, you know, it compelled you to, I gotta watch the next one. That's why so many people, I know a lot of people binge watch these shows anyway. But definitely if there's ever a show that is worthy of the binge watch, it would be Stranger Things. So, I understood it, totally got it. And then about a year and a half later, season 2 came out in October of 2017. So the first season's in the summer, the second season is about a year and a half later or so. And that was released like 2 or 3 days before Halloween. It was like the 27th or 28th of October or something like that. Now, I liked season 2, but I didn't like it as much as I liked season 1. I found season 2 to be a bit redundant. I found season 2 to be a bit repetitive. I found, unlike season 1, I found season 2 dragging a bit, and they were extending certain subplots and narratives for this. It felt like they were extending that for the sake of extending it. And it didn't feel quite as organic or as interesting to me as the first season did. Now, I did love the relationship dynamic and the development between Hopper and Eleven, and how Hopper was protecting her in his house, and she wasn't allowed out. And of course, she was growing up and becoming this sort of resentful teenager. And, you know, it was an interesting dynamic that Hopper was becoming sort of this real father figure to her. That I found really cool. I enjoyed that. My favorite episode of season 2, ironically, tends to be most people's least favorite episode, which of course is the one where Eleven takes the bus out of town and she goes and she meets that gang and she discovers that there's more people like her. And I really liked that episode because it felt like we were moving the narrative forward. It felt like, you know, so, oh, there are more. Wow. What does that mean? Like there's potentially more of her out there, right? She might be 11. Well, maybe there's 7 or 9 or 10 or, you know, who knows, right? But there's other people or girls and guys out there that are like her. And that door that opens to that possibility, I found very intriguing, very interesting. It doesn't mean you roll it out, you know, really fast, right? You want to be very careful with that kind of thing. You want to nurture it and mold it so you're not just going blah, you know, and everyone's like, what the hell's going on here, right? But I liked how that episode set up the possibility of that, which I found very interesting. And then as soon as that episode was done, we were right back to where we were in the comfortable sort of environment of Hawkins with the shit that's still going on, and Eleven comes back. And so I like how that episode just kind of winked at us a bit, like, you know, there could be more out there. There could be other shit going on out there that you don't know that is not a part of Hawkins potentially, right? Or not necessarily on a world scale, but I found it really interesting. I really liked that episode. It's not that I didn't like any of the other episodes, but I found that when I got to, I forget what episode that was. I think it might have been 7 maybe or something. But when I got to like episode, you know, 5 and 6, I remember thinking to myself, fuck, like the cliffhangers didn't feel as compelling to me. It felt like it was dragging a bit. There were some great moments, don't get me wrong, but it felt like it was dragging a bit and that they were maybe pushing it just too much. So when I think about season 3 of Stranger Things, and of course it didn't help as well that it was very Will-centric again. I understand why. Totally get it. But that didn't help season 2 of Stranger Things. There were other things that may have been cool and may have been really good for season 2. Having it so Will-centered again, I don't think was part of its strength. I think it was part of its weakness. So when I think of season 3, and we know a little bit about season 3, like for example, when I read the episode titles to you there, and episode 8 is the Battle of Starcourt. Sounds kind of cool. I love how the titles sound. Yeah, and they do this on purpose. The titles sound very like something you would hear in the 80s, right? Or something like that. Starcourt, I believe, is the mall in Hawkins. I believe it's the mall. So there's 2 episodes here that, you know, could have something to do with the mall. You have the last episode, which is the Battle of Starcourt, which simply means that it's the battle of this mall called Starcourt. So the mall might play an integral, part into the overall narrative of season 3, which I find really interesting. Maybe there's something buried under there. Maybe it's a doorway. The mall is a doorway. Maybe there's like a parallel universe, right? So maybe there's our world, our reality, but there's like an upside down version of the mall. That's interesting. That's maybe, right? That's kind of cool. And of course, episode 2 is called The Mall Rats, right? Now, obviously, we know what a mall rat is. It's somebody that, generally speaking, just hangs out at the mall all the time. So that's probably an episode where we're probably introduced to Starcourt in that episode, and the kids are probably hanging out at the mall, and maybe they discover something weird and funky about the mall, or there's something that happens in that episode which obviously would foreshadow, the eventuality of what's going to happen. So I like that. That's kind of cool. My only concern is that you gotta keep opening the door to new and interesting things, because if you just keep it so Hawkins-centric, logically speaking, these people would move out of the town. Okay? Like if this was continuously happening year after year, because keep in mind, season 1 is 1983. Season 2 is 1984. season 3 is going to be 1985, right? So this is like, all of this is happening within the span of 3 years. Are you fucking kidding me? Nobody in their right mind would stay in Hawkins. They'd move out. Think of everything you saw in season 1. Think of everything you saw in season 2. Now think of everything that you're probably going to see in season 3. And it all happens within 3 years of each other. Actually, 3 different years, but within 2 years of each other, right? Because 83 to 85, you go 83 to 84 is 1 year, 84 to 85 is 2 years. So over the course of 2 years, you're having all that? Like, it blows my mind to think that I want to see them opening things up a bit to the environment. Maybe there's another town down the road that's maybe like 20 miles from Hawkins or something like that, where there's shit going on over there, but somehow it's connected to Hawkins. So the people of Hawkins feel like, well, we can't really flee Hawkins because there's something beginning out there beyond our control, which then, gives them the excuse that, well, although it's bad here, we know Hawkins, we've dealt with this before, we know what to do, we're banding together, we're becoming more of a family in terms of who's all been involved, right? Obviously, there's still secrecy. Not the entire town does not know about everything that's going on, but I just feel that in some sort of ironic way, then, staying in Hawkins feels safer than venturing out into the unknown of what's beginning out there. Do you know what I mean? So then I buy it. I'm like, okay, I buy it. But if everything is so Hawkins-centric, but yet the other world, beyond Hawkins' walls seems fine, why wouldn't you move? I mean, I understand we have to suspend our disbelief, but I'm just saying that if they are wanting to continue this on, you kind of have to keep that in the back of your mind. Now, as far as I know, the goal is to have 4 seasons with maybe the potentiality of a 5th season. I get it. I don't think you could milk this show any more than 5. I really don't. Because if you want to keep it in Hawkins, you're gonna have to face those questions. Why aren't these people leaving? Why? Then these are dumb fucking people, really dumb people. So I just want to see the door open up a bit. I'm not saying you open it up to the world, but just open it up a bit where you bring in some new ideas. That's why I like that episode in season 2 so much, because she ventured out and you discovered that there's something else out there, but then they pulled you back into Hawkins and now you kind of forget about it. It's like an afterthought, but it's out there. They've planted the seed in your brain. Do you know what I'm saying? So I kind of like that idea. So I would really like if they went back to that. If we were able to sort of see that girl again, not necessarily her clan, because I didn't really care much for the people that she was with, but I definitely liked the connection that she seemed to have with Eleven. So that was pretty cool. But, and I don't think in season 2, I don't think they should have killed off Bob. Sean Astin, I really don't. I understand why they did, because somebody had to die, somebody had to go. Sean Astin's character was developed into a very likable person. Okay, and I like that, but I don't think he was a strength and a very nice contrast to Winona Ryder's character of neuroticism. And she's completely neurotic and off her rocker, and she's a little, and Bob was a nice balance to that, because Bob was that nice guy, that sweet guy that was sort of her rock, that understood about her and cared for her. And do you know what I mean? I don't want Winona Ryder's character and Hopper to get together. I really don't. I know there's that unspoken sexual tension there. I get it. It looked like at the end of season 2, that was the direction they were going in, but I don't want it to happen, because I do not see realistically a guy like Hopper and a woman like Winona Ryder's character. I forget her name now. It ain't going to work. It's not going to work, because Hopper would get fucking sick of her. Hopper would bang her. Oh, yeah, sure, he'd bang her. And he might bang her for a while. But he'd get fucking sick of her. He'd get fucking sick of her. Because she'd become a little too needy, I think. That's what was so great about Bob. What about Bob? That's a great movie I should talk about on this channel. But that was what was so great about that character, was because it was a 180. It was a nice balance. Hopper and Winona Ryder's character, ironically enough, are very similar in a lot of ways. And I know they've known each other a long time, and I don't care that they maintain that friendship. And if you want to keep that sexual sort of unspoken tension there, okay, fine. But please don't make, no, it would not work. I don't buy it. Hopper would get so fucking sick of her. Do you know what I mean? He's too strong of a character. No. And I don't want it's like, oh yes, but she's, taming him and reeling him in or something. Fuck that shit. He's not that guy. No, just don't do it. So, that I don't want to see. I don't want to see that at all. You want to keep some of the tension there? That's fine. But, that's why I was disappointed that they killed Bob, because I think Bob's character would have been a very likable character in future seasons. And maybe you kill him off later down the road, but they killed Sean Astin's character off in season 2 because they needed to kill somebody off. They needed to have I really like that character. And of course they can't kill any of the main cast, so Bob's got to go. So I get it, but I don't know if I would have done that, because I think he's a valuable character moving forward. Now, I know that 2 new characters that are going to be in season 3 of Stranger Things are Carrie Elwes, of course, from The Princess Bride and Robin Hood Men in Tights and Twister and the original Saw. You know the guy I'm talking about. I believe he plays the mayor of Hawkins, I think, and he's got his own kind of shady agenda going on, which is pretty cool. And Gary Busey's son, Gary Busey, Jake Busey, is in the new season as well, and I believe he's playing a journalist or something like that. I think that's what I read. So that's interesting. So those are 2 new characters that I'm interested to see sort of how that plays out and what the dynamic is going to be between them and, of course, everybody else. So that's really all the information we have right now. There might be some little tidbits that I didn't mention, but we really don't have a lot of information other than it's being released next year. I still think they're going to release season 3 in the fall, because the narrative and the subject matter lends itself to that, rather than releasing it in the summer like they did with season 1. I have a feeling that they will still keep it until the fall. However, I do want to say one last thing here, and that is season 3 takes place in the summer, during their summer vacation, as opposed to during the school year, which of course is what was happening in season 1 and season 2. So that's kind of interesting, because the kids are out of school for the summer. So the different, narratives that you can play off of in the different episodes relating to summer vacation and summer and what kids do in the summertime, and will definitely seep into this new season, I am sure. So maybe they would release it in the summer because of that, right? Maybe they want to release season 3 in the summer because it's a very summer vacation centric season, perhaps. Maybe. But I don't think they're going to do it. I think they're going to push it to the fall, because the overall subject matter is, spooky and Halloweeny, and it lends itself to that time of year a lot better than the summer. So that's what I think they're going to do. So we're probably still, in my estimation, about just under a year away. So, yeah. That's my guess, but we'll see. My name's Dave McCrae. Comment below and let me know your thoughts. Are you excited about season 3 of Stranger Things? What did you think of season 2 in compared to season 1? Or maybe you're not even a Stranger Things fan at all. Comment below and let me know. I really want to know. If you guys want to follow me on Facebook, you can at facebook.com/manythingsdavemccrae. That's where I tend to post in the meantime and in between time when I'm not posting here. The link is in the description, as well as links to my merch store, Patreon, IMDb website. It's all down there. You can check it out on your own time, whatever. Anyway, but yeah, comment below and let me know. Are you excited for season 3 of Stranger Things? And where do you want season 3 to go? I'll talk to you guys soon. Cheers.